Her disposition towards children is a very motherly one.
I'm going to give the children the best.
The children nobody wants. The children society chooses to ignore. Children without homes, without food, without an education, without a future. Children old before their time, conditioned to living on the streets, begging for money and scavenging for food. Most were orphaned by the AIDS epidemic or abandoned by families unwilling or unable to care for them. Many are victims of physical or sexual abuse. All are casualties of a system struggling to cope with their growing numbers.
I know there are organizations who have been doing quite good work, but we need more. We need many more.
The president was obviously aware that he was voicing a conviction shared by the one person whom he believes will have the determination and the drive to make that conviction become a reality.
I want to help children, especially educating them.
How did the idea of building such a home come? Where did you get the inspiration?
In 1997, I was walking, in town, and I realized that the number of street kids was actually growing. So I decided that one day, God willing, I'll be, I want to put up a children's home so that I can, give these children, a proper upbringing.
Aware that God probably needed a little help and not want to sit by idly waiting for some divine intervention, Zimbabwe's First Lady set up the Grace Mugabe Foundation.
Of course, the objectives of actually setting up a children's home is to actually look after children, first and foremost, and also to ensure that the kids are actually given the proper education they require, and also to give them a good upbringing so that when one day they become adults, they go into society, they are well equipped to be on their own. I don't want just to take kids from one area, Harare. I want actually to go Bulawayo, Mutare, Mashingo, other places, and so that I'm not seen to be just, probably wanting children from Harare, but other places as well. So we will not segregate. All the children who need accommodation can, be brought here as long as we have space for them.
And here is a multi-million-dollar children's home located on a bustling farm in the lush Mazoe Valley, 30 kilometers north of Harare.
I applied for this farm under the land reform program. It was actually not choosing it, but this was allocated to my trust, and I actually liked it.
Indeed, this was the ideal setting in which Zimbabwe's First Lady had envisaged turning her long-held ideas into reality. This was to be a children's home with a difference.
I've had experience of visiting other children's homes, and from that experience, I've said I'm going to have a different approach to my own children's home. I actually want to give them the best, what I can give the children, what I also would have wanted to get myself. And I'll work hard that they will have the best. This is our site plan, and the whole area is about 50 hectares. The houses are all here, concentrated here.
Each house covers 365 square meters and has 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, a lounge, kitchen, and dining room.
We intend to accommodate about below 15 children in each house, because we don't want the houses to be overcrowded, and also we want to take in children that we can afford to look after.
We have managed to build a total of 30 houses at different stages. Some of them are complete, some of them are still at foundation level.
We intend also to do a clinic, because there is no good hospital, to cater for the whole area here. So in due course, we will also be in a position to do the hospital, that is if we manage to raise the funds.
A primary school catering to about 1,000 pupils will go some way towards raising those funds.
As a way of generating income for the upkeep of the place, we will also enroll our children from the surrounding areas. And we are going also to have a secondary school here, and we will probably enroll about the same number as the primary school. And we will also cater for the surrounding areas too. And near the primary school, we will have a computer center.
There will also be a library, administration block, craft training center, sports fields, shopping mall, and a restaurant, plus accommodation for the teaching staff.
And we will have chalets as well. And all this is just to try and, raise income for, the upkeep again of this place. In a nutshell, this is what we intend to do. I can accommodate here this space for 400 children, even a little bit more than 400.
How many are you going to be having in each of the bedrooms?
Here I intend to have 4 in this particular bedroom. And this one also is another bedroom. This one is smaller, so we can only put 3 beds. But if you want, we can also assemble the bunk beds and 6 children can sleep here. Of course, this is one of the bathrooms here. And this is another bathroom with a shower, a toilet, a basin, and a mixing cabinet. And then there's another one here, spacious bathroom.
So
bathroom number 4.
So each bedroom has its own bathroom?
Yes, we try to do that so that when it's time to go to school in the morning, they don't have to wait for each other to bath. It's a massive project. It's not easy. It's a mammoth task. To date, we have done about 1/6 of what we intend to do, but at least I'm about to take in the children.
While many of the houses are ready for occupancy, it will be several years before the schools are built. So a decision was made to start taking in babies under the age of 4 so that by the time they are ready to begin their education, the schools will be in place. The first 6 babies were selected by the First Lady herself during a visit to Harare Hospital.
Hi. Come. We have to tell you.
This is very sad that, since the time I visited this place, they had just 5 damned babies. And I'm shocked today that the number is 17, which means something is wrong out there. We must do a lot more to educate our daughters on how to prevent pregnancies, especially if we realize that they are sexually active. I actually feel honored, especially that I'm in a position to look after the children, because in other places, people are not able even to do anything for the children, not because they don't want to do, but because they don't have the resources to look after children.
Yes. Goodbye. That one is...
As it is, the Grace Mugabe Children's Home project has cost $6 million to date, and the final bill is expected to be between $30 and $40 million. Mrs. Mugabe is confident she will find the money.
If your mind conceives an idea and your heart believes it, you can achieve it. I believe so much in God. I'm going to do it.
Once she sets her mind on something, you can actually see, even before you realize it, you can actually touch it. So she's an inspirational visionary.
And as with most things, she has her own way of going about it.
I don't do fundraising because I actually have something tangible on the ground to show the people. I just bring them here, and when they see for themselves, they actually are happy to be part of this project because they think it's actually for a noble cause. I actually brought the previous Chinese ambassador here, and he saw the work that was taking place, and he was very pleased. And so he said he would go back and talk to his, the authorities back home in China, which he did, and they decided to put aside 7 million to do the primary school. So I actually am very, very grateful also to the Chinese people, because I think they have helped me quite a lot in this project.
The First Lady's powers of persuasion proved equally effective when she raised a further $2.5 million from another international donor.
Master Kweli is a Buddhist monk from Taiwan, and he does a lot of charity work, and he's put up an orphanage in Malawi. At first he wanted his own piece of land where he could have a children's home constructed, but I actually managed to lure him to come and work with me here, because I told him I had the same intentions of actually wanting to do a children's home.
Set in mountainous terrain, Iron Mask Farm covers 1,250 hectares, less than a quarter of which is arable land. Nevertheless, this widely diversified and highly successful farming operation produces a variety of crops including maize, soya and sorghum, which go some way in helping fund the Homes project.
Every year we deliver over 1,200 tons of maize to the Grain Marketing Board.
We have an absolutely beautiful crop this year.
I'm trying to make this project self-sustaining.
We are looking at developing up to 150 irrigated infrastructure. With that kind of hectarage under irrigation, we are able to produce all year round.
It was from the full utilization of that farm that Her Excellency was able to supplement the construction of the project while waiting for other donors to get convinced and come on board. So the farm itself, Iron Mask, has been quite instrumental to the sustenance of the day-to-day progress at the home.
Another potential source of income has emerged from the work on the project itself.
It has been quite involving, a lot of work involved, because some of the times we're dealing with people we're having to train, because we're taking people from the community who need to be trained, but they adapt very well and they learn very well, and it has been enjoyable.
Ndane 5 years ndiri pana chishanda tisakatanga project inoyi aiwa carpentry ndakadzidzira pano.
But now we have experience because we have expertise here. If we actually want to do some housing development to sell, we can do it and make money for this. That's what we were actually thinking with my architects.
Help has also come from a higher source.
I believe so much in God. Since the time I decided I was going to put up a children's home, I used to pray a lot and say, Lord, this is what I actually set out to do, and I really need your divine providence, and really God bless me.
Her belief in God aside, it is her husband to whom Grace Mugabe has been able to turn for advice and moral support.
He's been very, very supportive, and probably if it wasn't not because of him, I would not have been in a position to actually continue the work after Master Kweli left. He is very proud, because when we had our groundbreaking ceremony here, he was here supporting me, and that presence meant that he wanted me to do that, and the confidence, of course, that I said I actually had to make him actually confident of me, or have confidence in me. When I actually mooted the idea, he did not object to this one, because he knows that when I set out to do something, I'll ensure that I complete it. Yes.
In terms of working ability, there are very few women who would do half as much in their houses for their husbands and families. She cooks, and cooks well. I don't want you to taste their food. And otherwise you will go and start fighting your own wife. Then she grows all the vegetables that we require. She also uses her hands. Always with the needle, always crocheting and knitting, and etc.
You must be then very proud as a husband of the work that she does.
Yes, of course, provided it succeeds. If it doesn't succeed, then we'll share the blame. But so far, so good, and she has played it quite well. I don't interfere. I keep my distance. If I interfered too much, then society would say, wow, it's the president who is doing it, it's the president who is guiding her. No, I leave her to do her own planning, to guide herself, and to invite me as and when she desires. And I go there by invitation.
So what would you say to them? I mean, particularly these critics, if you were to describe your wife to them?
If they wanted to be honest about it and sincere about it, they should just come here and see what she's doing and what her focus is. But not only to children, but to disabled people as well. So it's the whole area of social welfare, one might say, that has to do with the vulnerable ones, that she's interested in playing a part, and she has been playing a wonderful part.
The road that the assignment or the project is here to travel has been 99% been determined by the patron herself, the First Lady, who really is a no-nonsense implementer of visions.
Time will tell whether these orphans are too young to have been emotionally or psychologically scarred. Grace Mugabe is determined, however, that they will be brought up in a fully supportive family environment.
He said, for these children who are going to come here, I don't want them to feel that they are orphans. I would like to put something very beautiful.
I don't like using this word orphanage because it's not good for the children, when they're actually growing and they get to understand the description of the word orphanage, it won't go down well with them. So I just decided that I must have, proper houses for them and where, they can live. Because it gives the children a sense of belonging, that at least I have a house with my parents, and when I finish school, I'm going to go back to our house. And I want them